friends. Hello, hi, how are you? I hope you guys are having an amazing day today. So, a couple things. Number one, if my hair looks really weird at some parts, it's because like I've been getting a lot of comments being like, is your hair fried? No. I've been spackling and painting my house now for the past 2 weeks with no end in sight, and my hair is taking the toll. There are certain little bits of like paint and spackle that no matter how hard I scrub will not come out of my hair. So that's what that is. So today, we are going to be doing and answering your assumptions and a Q&A kind of combined. I've received a lot of new subscribers this past month, and I've had a lot of new people join the channel. And whenever I have that happen, I do like to do like Q&As and like assumption videos, because I feel like it's fun for people who just joined to get to know me a little bit. And I also feel like there's always some questions asked that even people who have maybe been around since like the beginning might not know. So that's what this video is. I hope you like it. That's what we're going to be doing today. I asked on Instagram and Twitter, and I am going to try to answer as many as possible, but also I know there was a lot, so I might not be able to get to all of them, but I will try my hardest to get to all of them, or at least answer like the most asked questions. All right, so the first question is, once you begin your career in social work, do you think you will still want to make videos? I hope so. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have. It would also depend on where my channel is at, where the actual YouTube platform is at. Like, it would depend on a lot of factors, because it might be possible that YouTube like doesn't even exist in 2 years, because that's how much time I have left in school, including my master's degree. So I don't know. I hope I'll still be posting videos because I do love doing it. But once I start working, I also could become very busy. So I don't know, but I hope so. I plan to. That's in the plan. So when did you start getting into makeup? I started getting into makeup when I was like 20. I'm 24 now, so probably around the time when I was like 20 years old, I first really started getting into makeup. I was always like knew about makeup because I did theater, obviously, so I like knew about it, but I didn't get into it until I was 20, and I probably didn't start collecting. I first started really collecting makeup when I was 21, because it was right after I started dating Charles. I started getting like really into makeup. So when I was 21 is when I got like super into it. When I was 20 was when I discovered that like contouring was a thing. Oh, this is a good question. She said, this is so weird. I was just thinking about you doing a Q&A today. Are you missing anything that you've decluttered or any decluttering regrets? No. I can honestly say, like, there has never been a time when I've decluttered something and then later on I was like, oh, I wish I had that one palette. The only thing I can kind of think about that maybe over time I like kind of regretted getting rid of, and this is a weird one because it's kind of a canceled brand, like it's a brand I've personally canceled and don't buy from anymore, but I do feel like I now in my life would enjoy the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette, where when I first got it and when I had it, I didn't know how to do makeup well enough to like fully appreciate how cool that palette was. And so now I feel like in my makeup journey, I definitely would be able to use that palette more and get some cool looks from it, but also I don't like Kat Von D. So I get this question a lot. Will you be doing another house tour once it's complete and you're moved in? Yes. However, the house will not be complete for probably like a couple of years, mostly because we're saving up to buy certain furniture pieces. We're trying to use the furniture pieces that we have, especially the big thing is I know that we're going to buy a new couch in the next 2 years, like a really nice couch. I want to splurge and just get a really good couch because we've only ever had hand-me-down couches. But the only thing is we're planning on getting a dog by the end of the year, and so we don't want to have a puppy and also have that puppy destroy a brand new couch, so we're gonna wait like a year or two before the puppy is trained to get the new couch of my dreams. So it won't be like complete in my head until I have the couch in there, but for the most part the house will be complete by I'll probably save it for Glomus, honestly, just because content. So probably sometime in December, once we're like more moved in and have more things settled and like more things finished, because once we move in we're still gonna have to do work on the house. It's definitely not going to be completely finished when we move in. Right now we're just trying to get everything we can get done like before we move in. We're trying to get like the essential things done before we move in, but there's definitely still things that are gonna need to be done. Hallways have to be paid. It's a whole thing. This is a good question. They said, unrelated to makeup, but where do you think upstate New York starts? This is a heated topic. I technically live in Western New York, so Western? Is that where yeah, I technically live in Western New York, but I lived in Central New York my whole life. I grew up in Syracuse, which is right in the middle of New York State, and I now live in Rochester, which is right in the west side of New York State. And I've also lived in Buffalo for a short period of time, which is even western than where I am now. So I would consider upstate New York like Syracuse, like up the state, you know what I mean? Like when you're at the halfway point of the state, I feel like anywhere from past the halfway point is upstate, but I know some of you guys from Poughkeepsie think you're upstate. I feel like people who live really close to New York City can't call themselves upstate New Yorkers, like, cause you're not. I'm sorry. I assume that you're always late to trends. This is the tea. I am always late to trends. I feel like I discover trends like a year after they're cool, and then I'm like, oh my god, did you guys hear about this? Just the other day, just bought my first pair of like just the white like canvas Vans. Everyone's been wearing them for like 10 years, but I just bought my first pair because I'm just like late to everything. It's always with like clothing though, really, because I feel like with clothes I'll like find the trend after it's cool and then I look uncool, but I don't care. I like what I like. You want about 5 kids? No. I want like 2 to 3 children. That would be where I would cut myself off, would be 3. And I really want to adopt kids, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm probably just gonna adopt. Okay, this one is an assumption. It says you're okay with staying a small content creator if your content is 100% still you. When I was at like lower numbers, I'd be like, if I never grew another subscriber again, I'd be happy. But I think the bigger you get on YouTube, the harder it is to not let the like numbers get to your head a little bit. Like you start to think like, oh crap, why is nobody watching my videos? Or like, oh crap, why did nobody subscribe? Or like, you know what I mean? So I do think while I enjoy being small because I definitely have a lot of freedom to say whatever I want, I think I could achieve that same level of freedom being a larger creator. I fully plan, watch this be in like my exposed video someday, but I fully plan on like not selling out and allowing brands to like buy me. I fully plan on not doing any of that. So I'm hoping that being at a bigger level, I can still be just as honest as I am now. So I think, you know, that goes half and half. I do think I would be okay with staying small, but I also think now that I'm getting bigger, obviously I have aspirations to be bigger, if that makes sense. Are you excited for grad school? If you would call like crippling anxiety excited, no, I am excited for grad school, but I'm also a little bit nervous just because, I don't know, change is just scary, you know? But I am excited for grad school. I am doing an accelerated program, so that is a little intimidating to think about, like thinking about being in school from summer to summer, because that's what it is. And like if you screw up, you're just screwed. That's a little scary, but I can't let that like, I can't think about that too much. You believe in quality over quantity when it comes to friends. Absolutely. I used to not be this way. I used to think it was more important to have a lot of friends than it was to have like really, really good friends. And as I've grown, my circle went from like here to like here. Like I have probably like, I'm like listing all of my friends. I have like probably like 7 or 8 friends. Let's call it 10 just to be safe. But my circle has gotten, not like just friends, like I have acquaintances and other friends, but like close friends, I have a very small amount. Realistically, it's probably like 5 people. And those are the people that I like vibe with, I trust, I hang out with them all the time. Like those are my people. You are always willing to hear others' opinions, no matter religion, political views, etc. This is a weakness of mine and I am working on it. And I think the thing is like, if I don't really know you and we have a differing of opinion, I can definitely like keep my mouth shut and like listen to your opinion. My problem is I think when people say things like this, like political views, right? I don't want to get too political because I definitely think that's a risky place to go. However, I do find it difficult sometimes to talk politics with people because I can't hear them out, because I can't understand like supporting things that take away rights from other people. Like I can't do that. So that's where I have an issue, is where like, and again, like if it's a person I don't really know, I can 100% like be quiet and just like not say anything and just like let them talk or whatever. Sometimes I don't, sometimes I do. It really depends on my mood. But I think when it comes to people I know, if I see them or have conversations with them about policies or political things, and I feel they're supporting something that's taking rights away from other people, I can't have a civil debate with a person who's okay with taking rights away from other people. Does that make sense? Like I just can't do it. I can't do it. So I think while I think that's something I want to work on more, is being more open. I also think there's power in knowing where you stand on things. And I think it's okay to say that things aren't okay. Like, I think it's okay if a person is being racist to say you're being racist without fear of offending them. Because if they're being racist, that's what they're being. If they're being xenophobic, that's what they're being. If they're being transphobic, like, that's what they're being, and they should be called on that. And I don't think you should be afraid to say that just because you want to be like willing to hear others out. Like, there are certain things I don't think we need to hear others out on. You know what I mean? I don't know. You recognize some of your subscribers' names. Yes. Especially the ones that like comment a lot. I always recognize you guys. Do you have any tattoos? If not, what would you get? I actually have 15. 14 or 15 or 16, I lost count. I have a lot of tattoos, and I feel like people don't know that because I did a video on it forever ago, and I'll link it if you guys want to watch it. It's not a great video. It's just me like explaining the meaning of all of my tattoos, but I have a lot of tattoos and I do want to get more. I went through a phase where I was like really crazy and I got like a lot in a short period of time, and I don't regret any of them, but I did want to slow down because I felt like I was filling up space too fast and I was worried I wouldn't have room left on my body for like later in life. The new one I want to get right now, which is going to be for sure, I'm going to get it probably in the next, probably by the end of the year I'll get it. But I really want to get an elephant, like a mandala style elephant on my thigh, because I already have 2 pieces on my thigh and I'd like to add that one. And I would like to make my thigh, like my top part of my thigh just above my knee, kind of like a pant. You know how you can get like a sleeve? I want to get like a pant and I want to have it like just above my knee, just like my whole thigh kind of like covered in tattoos. I think that would be very cool. I love tattoos. They're so dope. I know you have 2 sisters. What do they do? Are they as good as makeup as you? Well, my sisters have gotten more into makeup as a result of me, which I am so proud of. I feel like they're good in their own way. They both have their own kind of distinct style of makeup. My one sister likes like very dramatic makeup, and my other sister likes a very like light and summery makeup. One of my sisters is an actress, actually. She like does a lot of like actressy work. She works like teaching theater classes. She works like at I don't want to reveal where she works because I feel like that's weird, but she works at a lot of jobs where like she does acting things, and she also was an extra in House of Cards, which is super cool. And my other sister lives in California right now. She actually just moved out there. So scared for her and all of the earthquakes that are happening. It literally causes me constant anxiety. Christy, I love you so much. Please move home. No, but she's doing really well out there. She just moved out there and she is a manager at a boutique. She went to school for fashion merchandising. So that's what she got her degree in. That's like her whole thing. So that's what they do. How tall are you? I'm 5'6", pretty average height. Feel like I'm like not really that short and not really that tall, kind of just like right in the middle there. This is an assumption. It says, as a social worker, one day you would rather work with children than adults. Yes, I would rather work with children. That's kind of the population I want to get into. I've already done work at a daycare. I hated that, but it's not because of the children. I could have worked with those kids all day. It was like the coworkers and like the system and like all that. But I would definitely want to work with kids again. That's like kind of the goal, is to work with kids in some capacity. You're exactly the same in real life. I like to think I'm very similar in real life as I am on camera. I think I'm a little bit less extroverted on camera. As I've gotten older, I've gotten progressively more introverted. I kind of like to I feel like if you saw me in person, I'd be really awkward. To the one person who saw me in person that one time at the Lilac Festival, I'm sorry for how awkward I was. I was so awkward. But I think I'm a little bit more like shy in person. But I also think I'm very political in my real life. That takes up a very large portion of my time because I'm a social work major. It's basically like 90% of what I think about. And that's not something I ever really talk about on my channel. So I feel like that's the one thing that's like very different. Is like in my real life, I'm worried about a lot more different things than I am on my channel. I'm still worried about the stuff I talk about on my channel, but it takes up way less of my brain than what actually is going on in the world. This one says, you are a perfectionist. I feel like in a way, I don't know. I think in a way I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, but I don't think it's like the way that people would normally think of a perfectionist. I think for me, like, I don't necessarily want things to be perfect. I just want things to be good, and I want to like succeed. I think it's more about like success. Like when I write a paper, I don't need it to be the most perfect paper ever written, but I definitely work hard to like get an A on that paper. Does that make sense? This one is cute. It says, did you keep the original light switches in the house? Dash my mom. So I guess her mom asked that question. We are gonna keep one of them. We're keeping the one in my office, and I'm really excited about it because I love, if you watch the house tour, I had like, we have our light switches are like button switches, like really old school, and I'm obsessed with them. This is a really deep question. What decision has impacted your life the most? Where would you be if you decided differently? There's a lot of decisions that I could have made differently, I think. I guess we'll go with the easy route and not get too deep, but I think YouTube, like the idea to start posting content, because everyone in my life except Charles and my like mom were like, well, that's stupid. So I think the idea to start posting YouTube and do it despite the fact that people told me it was a dumb idea. Where would I be if I didn't make that decision? I don't know. I don't think I would be, I don't really know where I would be. Probably wouldn't be as like, I think YouTube has brought out a certain level of confidence in me that I think, while I've always been a pretty confident person, it's brought out a level of confidence in my ability to like speak. I think that's been really cool. And I also just think like it's changed my life in like every aspect of my life has changed. I'd be in a 1-bedroom apartment. How about that? Like every aspect of my life has pretty much changed because of YouTube. So I think that was a decision I'm happy I didn't do differently. Like I'm happy I like stuck with YouTube and did it. This says, what would you suggest to someone starting their channel in beauty? Don't feel like you have to buy every single makeup launch that comes out. People like when people reuse makeup, so I don't feel like you have to buy a ton of makeup to start a beauty channel. This one says, I assume you've always worked hard. BTW, love you, Smokey. Thank you so much. No. I have not always worked hard. This is a new thing for me. I think starting school, the first time, so it's not that I was ever like lazy. I just was one of those people because in school, it was very easy for me to like work not very hard and get like decent grades. Like I wasn't an A student by any means in high school, but I was like a B, solid B. I was more interested in like the social aspect of high school than I was like the trying hard aspect. But I worked hard at like my extracurriculars, and I feel like now in my adult life, learning a work ethic for school and for life was something that I had to like work on. I had to actively work on working hard. And I think I'm at a point in my life where I've kind of accomplished a work ethic that I'm really proud of. I'm actually really proud of my work ethic because I'm somehow able to do this, school, like everything, like I'm in the house, like all of that stuff. I'm really, really proud of my work ethic now, but it is not something I've always had. And it was something I actively had to be like, I don't like that I have a bad work ethic and I want to change that about myself. And so I did. It's not always been there, no. Which field in social work do you highly respect but would never work in? I don't think I would ever work with like sexual offenders of children, and I highly commend the people that do that work, because that's kind of the one thing we talk about in classes that is like, you can't, like my professors have talked to us about it and they're like, you can't prepare yourself for that type of work because it's just so jarring to work with that group of people. And I don't know if that's one that I could ever actually do. But again, a lot of my professors have said like, well, you say that now, but once you get in it, you'd be surprised what you're capable of doing. So I don't really like to rule out any population, but I think that is one population I would not actively seek out to work in. And I have immense respect for the people that do it, because if you think about it, despite everything, like those people need services and they need help and they need people to talk to just as much as anyone else does. So they need people to talk to, they need the help, but it's hard. It's a hard job, and I don't know if I would feel comfortable doing that. How does Charles feel about your success, especially with a shout out from Shane Dawson? I think he is the perfect person for me to be with while all of this is happening, because he definitely is very proud of me and he really supports me, and he loves you guys, like he loves being in videos. He's so supportive of all of it, but he's also like a realist, and I need that in my life. Like I can get very caught up in drama and very caught up in negativity, and he's very much a realist of like, none of it matters. And I love that. So he's definitely great for that. What's your favorite musical? Oh my God, there's so many. 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee is fantastic. Nobody's ever heard of it, but it's literally the funniest show ever. Rent is so good. Wicked, obviously. obviously, but that's like the cliche answer. Thoroughly Modern Millie was my first ever Broadway show I saw when I was 7, and so that one always holds like a special place in my heart. I've seen so many really good shows. It's like so Fun Home is fantastic, such a good show. Book of Mormon is fantastic. So many good musicals out there. How do you put out so many solid videos a week? I struggle to do just one. I need to know your magical formula. Unfortunately, there is no magical formula. I just plan a lot. I think that's like the key to uploading a lot for me. And also, I'm so blessed with the schedule that I have, because even when I was talking about this with my friends the other day, I was like, yeah, I'm really lucky because even when I'm in school, I know my set schedule, so I can plan videos around that. And right now I'm on summer vacation, so even though I'm working on the house every single day, I come home. I also don't care if I sleep or not, which I need to work on, because like right now it's literally 1:12 in the morning and I'm like doing this. So, and I'm gonna edit this video after I finish filming it, so I'm not gonna go to bed till probably 4 or 5 a.m. I don't know, what was the question? So no, I think just planning really helps. And I also think don't aim for like 5 videos. Like aim for like 3, and then if you do 5, you can be really proud of yourself. Like that's kind of what I do. If you think of an idea, write it down. I have a Google Docs folder where I write down all my ideas. I have a whiteboard over here I'm looking at where I plan everything out. Like come up with ideas pre-time and plan when you're gonna actually sit down and film them and edit them. Like plan in the time. What's a video you are super excited and jazzed to do but won't film since you aren't ready yet? I.e., I have a video idea that would take hours to film, edit, and put together, but I want it to be as perfect as it is in my head, so I haven't filmed it yet. So this is kind of not super the answer, but like this is what I think of is a video planned in my head like to perfection that I can't post until I graduate college. I have like a college graduation video idea like planned perfectly in my head, but I obviously can't film it until I graduate. So I'm like waiting for that day, but I'm really excited to film it. And I'm probably gonna cry a lot. I'm really, really excited to film graduating college and like getting my bachelor's degree, because it's something it literally has been like 7 years in the making. So how much longer do you have in school and what prompted you to study social work? I have 1 year left for my bachelor's and 1 year left for my master's degree. What prompted me to study social work? I know I should have an answer to this because this is like the question they ask you in every job interview, but to be perfectly honest, like every time somebody asks me this question, I freeze, because I feel like saying I enjoy helping people makes everyone roll their eyes and cringe, because it's like, okay. But I also feel like there's like a lot of like deeper issues of like why I want to do social work. But I also feel like there's a lot of simple answers. Like there's a lot of answers to this question. I guess to give you an abridged version, my mom was a social work and I got to see firsthand how positively she impacted everyone's lives. And I also think when I had the privilege to go abroad, I lived in Nepal and I was volunteering there, and just to get to work with kids and talk to them and help them and all of those types of things, and then coming home and like volunteering places, like really opened my eyes to how we need more people in this field. And so I wanted to be a part of it. And also I do enjoy helping people, and also the money, obviously the money. What do you prefer more, commentary videos, makeup videos, or combining the two? This is a great question. So both. I think I prefer my makeup videos. Those are kind of like, I would see them as like my passion project is like my makeup videos. And then I think the commentary videos I'm very good at, obviously. Well, I don't know if that's pretentious to say. I feel like I'm good at them. And I also feel like I enjoy talking about things. And more importantly, I enjoy hearing what everyone else has to say and reading your guys' opinions on things, because it's like I don't have anyone else in my life to talk to about this stuff. Like it's really fun talking to you guys. I think a big reason I started my channel was makeup, and I think I don't think I could ever switch fully to commentary. Number one, because I don't think enough stuff happens for me to talk about, and number two, because I love makeup and I love talking about it. And the fact that my makeup videos do as well as they do will never not make me want to cry. So this is a great one to end on. This says, where do you see yourself in 10 years? I hope in 10 years, Well, here's what I would love to happen. In 10 years, I would really love to have kids of some kind. Hopefully I would adopt some kids. That's kind of like my dream. A few other things I'd like to be able to do. I'd like to be financially stable enough. The house that we have right now, I've talked about it before, but it's not like our forever home. I have a whole video on it, but basically the options at the end would be to sell the home or to keep it as a rental property. My dream would be to keep it as a rental property, but then one day be able to rent it to like kind of use it as like a women's shelter. I mean, if a woman came into a women's shelter and she had a ton of kids that she needed a place for, offer that as housing to women who are in like a bad situation. Like that would be amazing. Career-wise, I would love to just be like crushing it at social work. I don't know what I'd be doing. I also have thought about recently potentially going on eventually and getting my like law degree of some kind and doing law. I've thought about that. So I don't know. 10 years would be dope though. Probably married. Maybe to Charles, we'll see. But probably married. I hope I'm still really close with my friends. I hope even if they like move to different places, I stay really close with them. And I hope in a way that I'm still doing YouTube, because like that would be amazing. Like, can you imagine if I did YouTube for like 12 years? Like that would be the coolest thing ever. Be so dope, and I would love that. So maybe I'll still be doing YouTube too. That would be very fun. But I don't think that's in the 10-year plan. I think other things are in the 10-year plan. But yeah, that is gonna be it from me, you guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just like, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I'm wearing on my face will be linked down below, along with a link to go register to vote. You could go down to that link right now and go register to vote. Voting is very important. It's super essential to everyone. Please go do it if you're not, and please go vote when it comes time to the election, because it's super important. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!